You know those people who are somehow always at a conference? They're bragging on LinkedIn about how they just did another keynote on something you know way more about, and you're thinking, why is this person getting paid to travel all over the world and give mediocre PowerPoints, and I'm still here recording my podcast in a closet? In this episode, we're talking about strategies for not just booking, but getting paid to speak professionally and doing it all from the groundwork you've already created with your podcast. Hello and welcome to Podcast for Profit. My name is Morgan Franklin. I'm a podcast producer, strategist, and educator. This podcast will help you create and grow a podcast that cuts through the noise of social media and speaks directly to your target audience. If you're ready to create a podcast that will align you with the experts in your industry, position yourself as a trusted leader, and create another source of revenue for your business, you're in the right place. I'm going to start off with my best tip, which I don't usually do, but that's how much I want you to hear it, and I know it works. Over and over, this is the way that I help podcasters and clients secure opportunities to speak at workshops, conferences, and events. The first thing is do your research. If you want to be a keynote speaker, great. What do you know? Where would it make sense? Why do you want to go to this specific event? This is the part we skip over so much because we're so busy blindly trying to wish something into existence without even starting to lay out a course of action. So step one is, where do you want to speak? Get a list together of 5 to 10 different conferences or events that would make sense for you and align with the topics you're already knowledgeable on. After you have a list of 5 to 10 events that would make sense for you, I want you to go ahead and look at the past, let's say 2 years of speakers at that event. Now, this might take some digging, but you're resourceful, you can do it. These events and speakers plaster this information all over the internet. You're looking for the previous speakers of this event that have roughly the same audience size and industry and experience as you. And this part is important because you're going to go ahead and start adding these people on LinkedIn and asking to host them on your podcast. Before we all get too excited, do not harass people. I know that you know that, but I want to say it again. This is a very specific networking tactic, and it will involve you bringing your A+ game of all A games. If you are interviewing someone that was a previous speaker at a conference you want to speak at, you better do your research. Ask the most thoughtfully researched questions you have ever asked in your whole life. Give them the time, literally. Ask them how you can help them. And then and only then will you bring up the fact that you are interested in speaking at this event. Focus on building the connection first, but do it intentionally. There is nothing wrong with getting to know someone through your podcast for your own professional gain, but make sure it's for their gain as well. This is one of those things that after you're done with the interview and you're saying thank you and goodbye and thanks for being on my show, blah, 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 say, hey, I'm really interested in being a speaker at XYZ conference next year. Could you connect me to someone to talk to? Easy, done deal. Again, take the time to nurture the relationship through the recording process and read the room. Maybe you should send a follow-up email asking this. Maybe you should ask when their episode launches. Maybe you should not ask them at all and you should have someone else on your podcast if you weren't jiving with them. Take the time, make the connection, and like I said, read the room on this kind of a situation. Network with people that are where you want to be and provide them value. That is really the best advice I could ever give you on anything, but you want to be working with the people that are where you want to be. And you know, going hand in hand with finding the right people to talk to is being able to quickly and professionally communicate to someone what your background is, the scope of your audience, and what topics you can speak professionally on. Having an optimized and updated one sheet will help with this immensely. If you're new to podcasting or public speaking, a one sheet is a document, either virtual or physical, that's normally one page or one page back and forth if it's a physical piece of paper, about who you are, your accomplishments, where you've been featured, what you've done, and why someone would want you to speak at an event or on a podcast. There are all kinds of one-sheet templates out there, but here's one thing I want you to include on yours no matter what the design or content of the rest of the one sheet. That's going to be 3 topics you can speak on that solve a problem in your niche or industry. For example, for me, Morgan, I might say how to find the right sponsors for your podcast, how to sell digital products through your podcast, or how to grow as an industry leader through your podcast. 3 topics. They all solve a problem for the listener, for my ideal listener. All would be perfect for a podcasting conference of some kind. So again, when you're thinking about these topics, that's why it's so important for you to know what kind of event you'll be speaking at to best speak to the audience that's there and provide the most value. We talk about this all the time. I know that we do, but find the niche of your niche. Drill down, then drill down again. For me, I wouldn't say I want to speak about podcasting. I'd say I want to speak on how business owners can use podcasting to grow their business. I'm finding the niche of the niche of the niche to stand out. So yes, I can speak on podcasting to a podcast conference, but they will also know I'm bringing perspective to a specific demographic of people who will also be at that conference. All right, so let's say that you did the outreach with previous speakers and made those connections and you're networking, but you're still not able to get a hold of anyone booking speakers at this event. That's okay. Almost all conferences have times when they do speaker signups and they're looking for different speakers. The moment you know you are interested in an event or a conference, I want you to go to their website and sign up on the email that says, "Are you interested in being a speaker?" Send the admin of this event an email and let them know that you'd like to speak with someone that's booking speakers for the event. The first time you speak at an event, especially if you're new to public speaking or if you've pursued them, it will be free. They will not pay you, which makes sense, right? You're a new speaker. If you pursued them, why would they be paying you? But that does not mean that you cannot make money off of this experience. There is a huge majority of speakers that make just as much money selling to people at the end of their presentation as they would have getting paid a speaker fee. If you're speaking for free, make sure you have a welcome sequence. You're giving people a resource in exchange for their email address. You're offering them a crazy offer. You're finding a way to retain their attention past this presentation. Just like with podcasting, as you improve speaking and as you define your audience, you will get paid offers. A way to speed up this process is to be that person on LinkedIn. Post about what you're doing. Have a videographer come and record your entire talk, and after, record some clips of you talking with people in the audience and just hanging around. Be your own PR person. Tell people what you're doing and what you're presenting. Make sure to refine and repeat your message on social media while you're sharing these clips of you speaking. No one will ever know if you got paid or not. I think we say that saying, fake it till you make it, a little too often, but in this case, I need you to show up as the person you want to be until you are the person that you want to be. If you started your podcast to be a leader in your industry, do not let an opportunity pass you by to talk about what you do and how you do it. On a local level, reach out to clubs and organizations in your own community. Offer to present at Rotary clubs or to students in your field. Use your network to find opportunities to speak publicly and continue to refine your message. Take photos, take videos, share that content. Position yourself as the leader in the industry until you are. In my opinion, if you have a podcast, this is the next step in your brand growth and development. You might not ever do this full time. You may never be Tony Robbins, but I promise it will grow your brand and your podcast. My action item for you is to work on your one sheet. Define what you can speak on credibly and thoughtfully, and that will solve a problem for your audience. Start networking with people in your industry who are doing what you want to do and are where you want to be. Start taking the baby steps right now so that next year or the year after that, you'll be exactly where you're dreaming of being right now. And as always, I can't wait to listen to your podcast. Hey, thank you so much for joining me on this episode. If you enjoyed the podcast and you'd like to hear more episodes like this one, go ahead and subscribe to the show. New episodes air every Monday morning. And if you found this episode valuable and you want to help other business owners and podcasters, will you leave me a 5-star review? It helps the show rank higher in the charts and brings more entrepreneurs the information they need to start making money on their podcast.